Good news! This is not an episode of productivity, which means you won't have to put up with my title sequence today. Yay! Some things have happened today which have pretty much proven I can be one of the most boring people on the planet. On Fridays, I don't have classes. I have something to do for my job early in the morning that lasts about 2 to 3 hours, and then I have the whole day to myself. Today I woke up and decided I was going to do something fun. What did I do? I went to the bank and made a deposit. I filled up my car with gas. And I went to an auto parts store and got new wiper blades to replace the dry rotted ones that have been only doing like a strip over my windshield, not the whole thing, which is kind of dangerous. I cannot tell you, after several months of driving with crappy wiper blades, how fun it is to have working wiper blades. And that's when I realized I am over 20 and probably aging properly when I got some kind of satisfaction over basic auto care. And on top of that, all week I've been mentally tired. I love school to death. I mean, let's face it, my career path destines me to be at a college for the rest of my life. But with upcoming deadlines and projects, grades, all that fun stuff, it's just all things I can handle, but they all stacked up and they just kept happening day after day after day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It just wouldn't stop. So it got to the point where even things I enjoyed doing, like making vlogs for you guys, became just something to do right before I would go to bed. Even so far as I would stop doing things I would enjoy at night in my room so I could do more homework, so I could go to bed earlier, so I could get up earlier, so I could go do more homework, so I could get home, so I could go to bed earlier, and it just kept going until today. Today, I did some errands that were just for me. They were not to better my career or make me a better person. They were to make my car a little bit nicer and just to get me into a silent box for about 2 hours. And then I came home and fell asleep for 2 more hours, and I woke up feeling great. So here I am. This is Gavin's back. And now that I'm back, I sadly this is not the Fault in Our Stars review. That is coming. I promise you, it's coming. I don't know why I did the peace sign there. That was weird. I promise you, The Fault in Our Stars is still coming. But I have gotten in a real reading mood as of late and wanted to discuss this with you real quick. One thing I want to say, the internet is fantastic. Several months ago, my local library got a book that was called The First Steampunk Novel. This book it has two different titles. It was published as a magazine serial under one name, and then it was put in paperback form in the 80s under a different name. The actual title is A Transatlantic Tunnel, Hurrah! Huzzah! Huzzah. The paperback version is Tunnel Through the Deeps. Obviously, the magazine title's cooler. I read the first chapter of this, and the plot seems pretty cool. The plot is an alternate 1970s England where technology is really steampunky, all the speech is Victorian, and the plot of history essentially is the rebellion that would have made United States of America failed. So the book is about Captain Washington, who's this engineer, and his entire life he's had this shadow over his head from the traitor Washington that tried to overthrow the monarchy from the colonies. And it's about him trying to dig a tunnel underneath the Atlantic so they can have a super fast nuclear powered train that's just like and travels at supersonic speeds. And there's murder, mystery, plot, intrigue, all that. It was really cool, but I returned the book and forgot the title until I went to the internet tonight and found it. Got it off eBay, $5, as compared to some, how shall we say, ridiculous prices on Amazon.com. That's one of my favorite things about a free market is when people try to assign their own worth to some things, which ends up with things like this. Yeah, I'm not making that up. You can go check. I'll put a link to the Amazon in the description. That is actually what someone's trying to sell a hardback of that book for. This is the closest thing to cinematography I have. When I show the Kindle to the camera, it makes the lighting go down so it can be like bright, dark. As well as reading Transatlantic Tunnel Hurrah, I have a new fixation, and that is to read middle-of-the-road novels. By middle of the road, I mean novels that have gotten where there are certain novels out there where let's say this is the midline of a review. This is your 3 stars out of 5. Certain books are guaranteed to stay up here. Case in point, I've just finished The Fault in Our Stars. I will make a legitimate review of The Fault in Our Stars. It is safe to say I have a positive feeling about The Fault in Our Stars, but even if I hated the book, me saying my opinion going down here means nothing, because all it will be is people assuming I am trying to be sensationalist about my dislike of the book. Why? Because everybody in the world loves The Fault in Our Stars. Granted, The Fault in Our Stars is a very good book, but it is also extremely popular. So, even a well-constructed negative opinion of something is still it's not gonna be taken seriously. There's nothing wrong with that, especially in books that are targets of negative opinion, and popular books can be targeted with, I hated this because it's popular, or I hated this because the protagonist's name started with a G. It happens. I understand that, and I totally get it. But there's some books, there are middle of the road books that are famous, and they're middle of the road because they push some buttons that some people don't like. And there's middle of the road books that are written by indie authors that no one's heard about, and they just don't have that many reviews. So there might be 1 5-star review by that guy's mother, and then 2 4-stars, and then 5 1-star reviews from trolls from 4chan. It happens too. Steampunk is a love-hate relationship. There are going to be things about it that suck. There's going to be things about it that are great. I am not a steampunk aficionado, but I do love technology in that sense. So I've got Transatlantic Tunnel Hurrah coming, which is kind of a forgotten novel. It was re-released several years ago as a trade paperback, but as Amazon shows, yeah. So, on top of that one, I have gotten 2 more steampunk novels. I have got Infernal Devices by K.W. Jeter, which is one of the first steampunk novels, and according to what I've read about this, K.W. Jeter is actually one of the first people to coin the term steampunk as we understand it. So, Infernal Devices, I've got the sample for it on my magical reading machine. And as well, I've got a new steampunk, and it's relatively new. I know it didn't come out this year, but still. Bone Shaker by Cherie Priest, who's written a bunch of who's written several sci-fi steampunk novels before. Bone Shaker has a really cool sci-fi plot that could either suck or be awesome. Here's the setup for the book. Right after the Civil War, the Yukon Gold Rush starts, and a enterprising bunch of Russians hire a really intelligent inventor to build a drill that will get straight to the gold, and they will be rich. That inventor creates the Bone Shaker drill, and as the title would imply, that's probably going to be a bad thing if it's the title of the book. The Bone Shaker hits on its first trial run, the Bone Shaker hits a vein of gas, and this vein of gas escapes and floats over the city of Seattle. This gas, when inhaled, turns you into a zombie. So, 15 years later, Seattle is surrounded by a giant wall. Steampunk technology, including airships and whatnot, is rampant, and the book is about the now dead inventor's son trying to clear his father's name. He has to deal with zombies, air pirates, all kinds of fun stuff. And that sounds cool, but there are a lot of reviews saying, yeah, if you like steampunk, it's a good book, but... And I want to see if it's a good book on its own, or if it's a good book because it uses steampunk as a crutch. I don't know, I haven't read it yet, but I do have it right here, and I very much look forward to reading it. That brings me to the point where I involve you, the viewer. This is not a legitimate episode of Productivity, as I said before, but I would like to get some kind of discussion about this, so... Tell me, what are you reading? What do you want to read? What are you looking for? What are you looking forward to reading? I would tell you, but that would take way more time than you feel like watching me for. So I'll just leave you at that. Midterms are coming up. I might be able to churn out more videos during that. And I just want to say, thank you for watching. If you want to check out my other videos, just go to my channel, maybe throw me a subscribe, comment, tell me what you're reading. I want to know. I live to find out about cool new books. I didn't know about Bone Shaker until a friend of the family who just so happened to add me on Goodreads, said he was reading Bone Shaker like 3 weeks ago. That is the only way I would have found out about it. And it has sent me on everything I've told you about tonight has been because of Bone Shaker. So thanks a lot, and see you in the comments. Bye, guys.